Hi everybody, it's Dave here. Welcome to Holiday for Two, and I hope you're having a good day. And you can see that I'm in the camper, and what I'm doing today is, this is what I call camper cleanup day, and I'm getting ready to take a trip this weekend. I'm going to be going down to Tucson and taking my dad on a camping trip up to Mount Lemmon, which is just north of Tucson, about, I would say about 35-40 miles. But the cool thing about Mount Lemmon is you go from desert to aspens in just a short time, and you're up to 8,000 feet. We're going to do a little camping up there. It'll be fun, and I'll show you more of that video when we get back, and I'll put that together. It'll be a cool video. I think that's kind of fun. My dad and I getting away for a little father-son trip next weekend. But today I'm just kind of getting everything ready, and you probably wonder why my refrigerator is open. Just a little tip. I'm going to give you a little tip about that. When we park the camper for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks at a time, when we leave it parked, I always leave the refrigerator open. And I stick inside the refrigerator a box of baking soda. It's just a good idea. If I do accidentally forget and shut it, the baking soda helps to absorb odors. And I leave the doors open, that way it kind of airs out. It's always a good idea to leave it open and let it air out in there. You really don't want to leave your RV for a couple weeks, especially in Arizona, because it is so stinking hot right now. I mean, this is early in the morning and it's probably 80 degrees in here right now. So it's a good time to get out here and do stuff in the RV when it's, cool in the morning. Cool in the morning. In Arizona, that's, kind of weird to say that, but can't wait till winter and fall get here. It can't get here soon enough for us. But speaking of fall and speaking of winter, this is a perfect time, because it's perfect time of the year to start doing some RV maintenance. It's kind of funny because my last video I talked about tires and checking your tires, and I always like to do that around this time of year. But the other thing that makes it kind of funny is we took a trip on Labor Day weekend up to Prescott, and I had just put 4 new tires on the Lucky, as I call it. I just put 4 new tires on her, and we were stuck in traffic. It was a rainstorm that you wouldn't believe. Stuck in traffic moving 5 miles an hour, and it was probably a good thing that traffic was going slow. Somebody pulled up next to us, and they were motioning like this, and my wife rolled down the window. She was driving, and they said, your tire's flat, your tire's flat. And I'm thinking, what the heck? I just bought these new tires, right? How can I have a flat tire? Well, I think in the video that you might have seen on Prescott, when we got to Prescott the next day, I did a video, and I had put tire extensions on my tires, and those tire extensions came off while we were traveling. One of them came off. I lost the tire sensor, and it also lost the extension. It tore it up and caused it to leak air. So that's why one of the tires was leaky. And yeah, it was flat. But luckily they were new. It didn't lose bead, so I was able to get air in it and get on the road again. We were only about 8-10 miles from the gas station. I pulled in, put air in, and the tire took air, and it's been fine. So, knock on wood, as they say, right? So, it's one of those things that kind of happen if you're in an RV and you get used to these crazy things happening. But what I'm going to talk about today, in just a second, I'm going to talk about checking your batteries. So, we check tires. Now it is a good time of the year to check those batteries, not just your tires, but your batteries. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's go to it. Today's video is RV maintenance tip. Check your batteries, house batteries, and engine batteries. Let's go.
I know just what we'll do. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for 2. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for 2.
All right. So what I did about 2 weeks ago, I had all these premonitions. Weird. It's how you have these premonitions about things that can go wrong, right? Tires and batteries. And so I ordered, I realized I don't have a battery tester. I have a voltmeter and stuff that I can put on, but it doesn't really test the battery. So I found this on Amazon. It's, I'll put a link in the description so you can see what it is. It's a BT100 battery tester, 12 volt battery tester. It checks the charge, gives you a result on the charge of your battery. It tests it, does a charging test. It also does a cranking test and a load test. So we'll put it to the test and see how it works. This is my BT100 battery tester. I'll be sure to put a link in the video so you can find out about that. Now, when we got to Prescott, not only did we have trouble with the tires and got that taken care of, but then we got to Prescott and did our night of camping. Next morning I got up and I always check the little battery meter. Let me show you. I'll get down, have to get down low here. Inside my coach right here is a little switch. There's my little switch right there. And this is my little battery cutoff switch. So when we park it for a while, I'll turn the batteries off. Now I have the batteries on. That way I can turn the lights on. See the lights come on? But when I turn the switch off, then the lights won't come on. And so the batteries will stay okay for extended periods of time. So let me turn the battery switch back on so you can see the lights are on. So up on in my coach up here is a little panel, and I always check my panel when we get camping somewhere or before we leave, like today. Check to make sure I got a full tank of propane. Which was funny because I took it after we got back from Prescott last week. I took it and made sure the tank was full and checked the propane and filled it up too. So the propane is full. I think it only took like 4 gallons or something like that, which wasn't too bad. And my battery, see my battery? 4 bars. I don't know if you can see that on there. It has 4 little lights that come on. When we were in Prescott and did our first night camping, didn't use anything that night except for the only thing that runs on battery is the smoke detector and the fridge, and that's just a little bit. The fridge doesn't run on 12 volt. It actually runs on propane, but it does use 12 volt once in a while for the light inside or to start it up. So I got up in the morning and pushed that little button and it was down to 1 bar. 1 bar, and it's never been that low. So I'm like, uh-oh. Because usually I get up in the morning and it'll be 4, maybe 3. If we've been running the heater and running the fan once in a while. When we sleep at night and it's cold, we don't run the heater all night long. We'll get up and turn it on for a few minutes and then turn it off if it's real cold. Or get up in the morning, turn it on and let it run and then turn it off. Or I'll bring my little buddy heater, you know, something like that. But I don't run the heater all night. And I've never had the battery get below 3. So for it to be 1 bar, 1 light, that was pretty serious. So what I did, and I'm not surprised because the batteries that I had in there were about almost 4 years old. And so if you have an RV trailer or motorhome, camper van, 5th wheel, whatever you have, if you've got an RV like that, you probably have batteries in there. And if you live in a place like Arizona where it's hot, you might want to check those batteries if they're more than 4 years old. Little tip there. So if you have an RV and its batteries in the RV are 4 years or older, get something to check them and go out and test them, because you don't want to go camping in the middle of a trip, boondocks and stuff. You don't want to get out in the middle of a boondock somewhere and then realize, oh, my battery's dead. So our batteries are underneath here. So I went up, I had 2 interstate batteries that were in here that I bought in 2018 in December. And so that's 12, 18, and 9 of 22. So like I said, they were almost 4 years old. Yeah, almost 4 years old. And so I wasn't really surprised that they went out that fast. It's just like car batteries. So I went up to O'Reilly's and got 2 of their starter batteries. They call them starter battery, deep cycle group 24s. And I couldn't believe this. They were 99 bucks a piece. And they were the same specs as the interstate batteries. So I went ahead and got 2 group 24 deep cycle marine batteries. And they've been working fine. So if those last me 3 or 4 years, I'll be happy, because I've wanted to put lithium in there, but I haven't done it yet. It's a big enough compartment. I could easily put 1 huge lithium battery in there, or 2 small like battle borns in there. But with this particular RV, in order for me to do lithium, I'd have to redo my charger system, because my charger system isn't set up to do lithium. So what I'm going to do in just a second, I'm going to take you out and show you my battery tester, and I'm going to try it out on my motor. Let's open this baby up here. Why they make these things hard to get open, huh? There we go. Yeah. All right. All right, you got your little tester here. And you got your cables. Hook on the battery. I'll open up the front of the RV and put this on the battery and try it out. Got your little manual here. All right. All right. All right, well, let's put this right there. All right, so the red's going to go on the positives. Red goes on positive, black goes on negative. Let's try this out. There's the positive side. And there's the negative. Hey, it came right on. Enter battery test. Regular flooded battery. Testing. I'm kind of curious to see how it tests on this battery. Nope, look at that. That was fast. Good battery. Charge, it could be a little bit higher for my taste. I know that this battery is probably the battery that came with the RV. So this RV was sold in 2017. We bought it in 2018. So what, 5 years? Yeah, it's a GM AC Delco battery, so it's been doing pretty good. Let's try a cranking test. Start engine. Gives me about 30 seconds. Normal. All right. This is a charge test called a ripple test. You can see that. All right. Our All right, charging normally. You have to get in, you have to run it to 2,500 RPMs for about 5 seconds while it's testing. Came out okay there. Let's do the next one. All right, review data. All right, let me turn it off. All right, well, this is interesting. So far there were 3 tests that I wanted to run. And so the first test is the battery test. That's where it actually, you put it on the battery and it checks the battery without anything turned on. And that came out good, so thumbs up there. And then there's a cranking test where you have to, it tests while you're starting up the engine. So it tests the cranking, I guess how much power it takes while it's cranking. And that came out good. Then there's the charging test. So you actually run the engine up to 2,500 RPMs for about 5-10 seconds, and then it tests to see the charger, the alternator or generator is putting out enough power to generate to charge up the battery. So, and then at the end you get to review the data. So it says good battery. So that's good to know. And I'm really surprised. I wasn't sure how the battery was doing, but am I still a little leery? Well, yeah, because of the fact that it's 5 years old. At least as far as I know. I might check the battery. There should be a date on the battery. I was checking to see if there was a date on the battery. Some of these batteries will have stickers on them that'll show what date it is, but I don't see a sticker. But that doesn't mean it's not there. I may just have to look around a little bit. So if you have an RV, I suggest you get out there. If your RV has batteries that are 4 years old or up, get out and test those batteries, because you don't want to get out somewhere camping on a camping trip and have those batteries die on you. That would just not be fun. Luckily, when we were in Prescott, for Labor Day weekend, we had the Jeep. I took those batteries out of there in about 5 minutes. I had them out and in the Jeep, took them up to O'Reilly's, and about 10 minutes later I had new batteries and dropped them right in and hooked them up. So it was no big deal. Once I got them hooked up, the little light went back up to 3 or 4 bars, and I got it all charged up fine. And so couple things, little tips for you if you have batteries and you do need to change them. Make sure you have some tools so you can get those batteries off. If you have a trailer, your batteries are going to be in the front of your trailer. If you have like a pull trailer, your batteries will probably be right in the front next to where the propane tanks are. There's little covers on top of them, so you'll want to take those little covers off. You'll either have 1 or 2 house batteries in there, so you probably will want to check both of those. Check to see what date they are or how old they are. If you're in doubt, you can tell that they're probably getting run down if you go in and you run a couple lights and the batteries go down to nothing really fast. That's one sign. Or if they're just not charging up. We've had friends who go camping with us, and then they get camping, and then the next thing they know we hear, all my lights are out. Well, it doesn't help if they run the stereo all night long either. So we've had friends that did that, and they wondered why their batteries run down. So you can't run power all night long and not expect those batteries to get low. But do check them, because you don't want to get out somewhere away from civilization and have your batteries die on you. And then those batteries power your refrigerator, your lights, and everything else that's in the RV that you need. So you want to make sure you keep on top of it. And of course your engine battery is what starts your engine up. So that's an important one, just like your car. So you want to check all those things. Get you a little tester. This kind of gives you a little peace of mind. I'm still keeping my eye on it. I'll probably test this again about once a month, every couple of weeks, just to make sure how it's running. Because I do know it's got to be at least 5 years old. So batteries in Arizona just do not last long. So little tips for you. Check those batteries. Check your house batteries if you have an RV that has house batteries like we do. Ours are down below the step, but if you have a trailer, your trailer batteries are going to be in the front. If you have a fifth wheel, Your batteries will probably be underneath somewhere in a bay, usually up towards the front of the fifth wheel. There's a little bay down there. You open up and you'll find your batteries in there, and then you just stick this on there and test them and see how they're doing. A van, if you have a camper van, your battery may be in the back, somewhere in the back part of the van, kind of underneath somewhere where it's tucked away. You may have to open up your back doors on your van and look underneath, or it could be your situation might be a little different where you have it up in the front somewhere. So you just kind of want to look around and see where your house batteries are. Now, if you have lithium batteries already, well, those are going to be different. I don't think this works on lithium batteries. This works only on the AGM gel batteries and, of course, the lead acid batteries. And those suckers are heavy. I will tell you that right now. So pulling those out of there, you might need a little bit of help. If you have two batteries in your trailer that are lead acid batteries, you might need help getting those out of there. So be ready to ask for an extra set of arms. So this is Dave. Safe travels, whatever you do. Before I forget, please, if you like this video and you find it helpful, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that little bell so you'll be notified when I put out my next videos. Usually they're on Monday, unless I'm really got a lot of stuff going on. I might put one out on Thursdays. But usually Mondays. Every Monday I put out a new video. So this week, test those batteries. Keep on top of them. You don't want to get stuck with dead batteries. Dave from Holiday for Two saying have a great week. Safe travels. Take care.